that was Jesse. Jesse, thanks for coming out today, man, and busting out one for free. And you know, if you want to be on the channel as well, all you gotta do is come cut some nasty tall grass with me for free, just for the enjoyment. Because if you're a juggernaut in your business, you need to make money. But if you want some tips and tricks about business, you can come cut a tall lawn with me and ask me whatever you want, and I will help you in your business. All you got to do is just be down to work. Like I said, for free. I'm not making any money off it, so who cares? I mean, hopefully I'll make some money off of YouTube, but I need your help for that. In order to do that, please subscribe to the channel, give us a thumbs up, and yeah. Who else is out there working, showing tips, hustling, and doing business consulting for free? I'm sick in the head, man. I love what I do. I love what I do. If you guys knew Greg Chisholm back in the day, Geek to Freak, one of the things he did is he would say, he's like, you're a lawn freak if you do this, or if you like cutting this type of lawn, or you like doing that. And I gotta tell you, the lawn freak in me is coming out. I'm enjoying the tall stuff. I'm enjoying business. I'm loving my business again, because I didn't enjoy my business for a long time when I wasn't making money. About the time I started this channel is when I started liking my business again, because I started making a lot of changes in my business. I started making money, and I was able to buy a vehicle, and I was able to buy a mower, and I was able to get a leaf blower or a piece of equipment or pay a bill. If you're struggling, I understand it. If you're starting out and you have no money and no credit, I understand it. If you're going through the struggle, I get it, man. And here's the thing, I'm not positioning myself against anybody, but if somebody's not showing dirt, they might not be fully real. And just protect your mental security with being online, because there's people that just show the highlight reels in their business. They just show you the good times and when it's easy. My interest is showing an honest progression, where we are at, where we've been, where my plans and hopes and dreams are to be, and my progression and what I'm doing to get there. So, you know, if you like that stuff, this might be the channel for you. I don't know if you're ready or not, but here I go. All right, so we're at this crazy yard. It's so crazy in the front. It's a little tall. It's pretty wild over there. The grass is almost up to the mailbox. I've got Jesse here with me. Jesse is one of our subscribers. He's in the area. He heard me say Tulsa in the area, and he said, hey, how do I get on the channel? And my answer to that is, if you want to be on the channel, let's go cut some crazy yard for free. Now in the back here, ooh, go ahead, you know what that is. Should I touch it? Should I touch it? No, I shouldn't. You know what poison ivy looks like?
Yes.
It'll make you itch. So there's that. Now in the back we've got some Johnson grass, and what we're gonna do is, he's got, what was your string trimmer?
So it's a Cub Cadet, 22-inch cut, 176cc engine.
Okay, so we'll show that in a second, but it's one of the string trimmers that you walk behind and it tears up tall stuff, right? We're gonna cut the back into a section, and I'm gonna hit half of it with the weed eater, and he's gonna hit half of it with his trimmer, and we're gonna see what the outcomes are. Hey, how you doing? No, man, we're just gonna cut it for free.
They don't cut it for free?
We're gonna cut it for free, put it on YouTube, and people love watching it, and we kind of enjoy doing it. You think, is that odd?
No, I think that kind of beautified Oklahoma.
Yeah, I think so too.
But this house, the people left because you see how that smokestack, that breather is tilted over?
Is it leaking water in the
No,
house?
the house is sinking.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna ask, do you know the story behind it? Like,
Well, you can check with the bank, because I think the bank want to take anything they can get for it. But like I said, that as it tilt more, that's when the foundation and everything is sinking in.
that's
You
no
see
good,
it?
man.
That's not supposed to be doing it. And then the roof wide. So if y'all cut that, that make me happy because it keep the jungle bugs from me.
Yeah? What was your name?
Lorenzo Oliver.
Lorenzo? Wonderful to meet you, man.
Thank you. You have a blessed day.
You too. You care if I put you on camera?
I don't mind.
Cool.
I ain't nothing.
You have a wonderful day. It's very good to meet you. All right, so we got to meet a neighbor. They're happy we're cutting it. It is bank owned at this time, is what it seems like. And there's some information on the windows. That stuff happens all the time. Maybe there's some, you know, somebody living inside. I don't know. There's some stuff in there.
It looks like it was foreclosed and then
They
no
left
pay,
some
so
stuff.
they kept all their stuff.
Dude, that's unfortunate when that happens. My parents lost their house in the 08 bubble, so it's rough. It's rough. Anyways, we're not here to care about that, even though my heart goes out to them for losing their house. We are here to take care of the lawn. We're gonna make it look cool, and we're gonna film it, and you're gonna enjoy it because that's what we do. Let's go look at Jesse's setup real quick. Okay, so Jesse is in his first year, and he did you get laid off because of COVID?
Pretty much.
Okay, so he got hit by the aftermath of COVID, and this is his first year setup. So he's doing good right now. It's his brother, he and his brother are investing in the business. They got the 30-inch Toro. You got two 225s?
Yes. So
And then
two of the Echo string trimmers. This is niche specific. We just bought this. We're not sure how we feel about it just yet. Regular 50cc backpack blower, box store. As we get bigger, obviously we're going to try to get better equipment.
you keep the trash can for grass clippings.
Or other things, trash in their yard. We try to,
Yeah.
you know, do our customers as much of a service as we can. But
His setup is a lot cleaner than mine.
yeah, we today actually the day before yesterday, before I met up with Kevin, we did a Laripe cleanup for a guy. If you look at my Facebook, is it okay to plug it on here?
Yeah, absolutely.
JesseJamesLawnCare.com. We're based out of Tulsa. It's on Facebook. You can look us up. You can see the before and after photos of the job we did. I think you'll like it. And if you have any questions, give us a call, 918-933-3637. Thank you.
If you're not in the area and you don't need service, don't be bothering them.
Yeah. On a budget and you're starting a lawn care company, you try to save money when you can.
Yeah, well, I think it's in good shape. My first trailer was actually a 5x10, so it's a good starter trailer. He's pulling it with his Trailblazer, which he knows he needs to upgrade that. You don't need to tell him. He's starting out. He's getting there. But yeah, they're ramping up for leaf season. This is cool. This is the Cub Cadet trimmer we were talking about. You see how thick the line is? So we're gonna see if that trimmer can beat my experience. So we're gonna go, I don't know, he said it's an unfair advantage for me, or what, the trimmers, you think the trimmer's gonna beat me, right?
I am starting to second guess. In saying that, I didn't realize the surface area that can be covered at 17, but it's a widespread 17. But I think in the back where that tall Johnson grass is, this will shine.
Yeah.
Because in experience of cutting some of that Johnson grass tall like that with a weed eater, it does tend to wrap around the head.
Yep.
And with this, it just shoots it everywhere. So
I'm gonna murder some grass.
I think it'll level the playing field for me once we hit the taller Johnson grass. But this front stuff, I mean, it'll probably be pretty close raised.
All right, so we'll set up a strip in the front with the crabgrass, some Dallas grass, some mix of junk, a lot of junk. This is kind of cool. I've never done an equipment style video either, so this will be cool. We'll set up, so I think like this side will do it justice. Maybe? Should we do it right here? We'll cut it right down the center over to the tree. So I'm gonna have him take his machine so I can see what I'm up against. I've never seen one actually in action. I'm gonna have him go right down the center, cut us a path. He'll take the left, I'll take the right, or I'll have him take that side because it's got the concrete and he needs the advantage. I'm not feeling so confident anymore. I might get smoked. All right, man, what side do you want?
I don't, it doesn't matter. They're about to...
It doesn't matter, he's about to murder.
And they're off. JJ in the lead with an astounding blaze right out the gate. Juggernaut having some difficulties, and he's in the race. Here we go, rounding the corner, making his second pass. JJ is not wasting any time. He's about halfway through his second pass, and he's done. Juggernaut is swinging away, looking like a axeman in the woods. This could be a close race. It's a bright sunny day. The wind is blowing. It is going well. Juggernaut looks like he's just about done with 2 passes in 1 swing. Blackfoot coming up at the end of the race. It up. Quick shout out to a different Jesse James in the community with Life and Lawn Care podcast. There's too many Jesse Jameses in this community. It's time for a battle royale. Now back to the race. He is mowing it down. This race could not have been any closer. I take it back. He's like halfway through. Yeah, he's not doing real well, the Juggernaut there. But here we go. Oh, he's at the end. He thinks he's done. He's done. Oh no, he missed a spot. He's got to go back. There he goes. Wheeling and dealing like a death machine on ice. It's finished. Juggernaut loses by the skin of his teeth. What a race.
So with this, also you can raise the head up and down.
I saw you popping wheelies.
No, you can actually, that was because it was kind of like getting caught up. You can actually take the bolt and loosen it, come up with it so it doesn't have to cut as much.
That's what a loser would say.
I guess I won, YouTube.
Suck it, Juggernaut. You suck.
It looks better too.
What cuts lower to the ground?
All right, so undeniably, he beat me. I give it to him. That thing's pretty awesome. I'm gonna have to check that out, pick one up. I'm definitely gonna try it while we're here.
One thing also to look at is how much string did you use?
Yeah. I don't think I used too much.
It didn't even break my string, it just kind of nicked it a little bit.
How much is a string for those?
Like $12 for a bundle of like 20, I think.
And it's gonna last you forever in a day.
Oh yeah, this thing is great for like weeding up next to chain link fences. Not like super fine details because it will cut like siding on houses.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. But up against the chain link fence, that 155, I mean,
I gotta say that was pretty impressive. I've seen these before in like videos and the advertisements, but that's pretty quick. He knocked that out real fast. And yeah, so at this point we're gonna knock out the yard. Do you want to use that on the back, or do you want to use the zero turn?
I mean,
do you want to try out my zero turn?
We can, but I think if you use this in the back, I mean, it'll really show how impressive it is as a unit.
Let's get some cool video of that. Let's do that. All right, so that side of the yard's not bad at all. This side's the crazy one. And we're gonna clean up the rest of the yard once we do this, but he's gonna slam it down, and then from there, I'll polish it up with the zero turn.
This thing's easy to start, one pull. Oh, wrapped up. This usually never happens, but at times it does. This thing honestly rips though.
So I've had several viewers that told me I needed to try a piece of equipment like this, whether it's the DR, in this case the Cub Cadet, but basically the weed eater, the walk behind weed eater. And I got to tell you, you weren't wrong. It's a very impressive machine. I've seen videos of them in the past, but never have I been able to use one or actually see one in action. It's pretty impressive. And when you actually stop to think about it, it's a lawnmower engine with some really, really thick weed eater string on it. It's open, no deck, so there's nothing to clog it up. Yeah, it's going to tear up through some stuff. And, man, it's went right through this stuff like it was butter. Shredded it up and took it real low. So it only clogged up on him a few times, but he was able to just, you know, pop a wheelie real quick and it was all good again. So I think that was the one time that it actually bogged down enough to stop it. So overall, I mean, it was really impressive. Now, as far as the pricing goes on these units, he said it was between $300 to $400, and I found one on Amazon. I'm going to go ahead and link that in the description below if you want to check it out. But they start at about $340 for one of these units. They can tear some stuff up. So to me, that's reasonably priced for something that I could throw on my setup and not put the wear and tear on my walk behind or my Ferris mower. Ultimately, I want to keep those mowers as nice as possible as long as I can. So I have no doubt in my mind I'll be picking one of these up in the future. Like I said, in person, it was very impressive to see how easy it just cut through it. So yeah, it's something that we will definitely invest in down the road. Now, I don't think I'm going to get one this year because it's going to be sitting all winter. And there's not too much of a point in me picking one up now as the season's kind of coming to an end. Having said that, if you really like these tall, crazy grass videos, I have about, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 more coming out. I'm not really sure. I'll be trickling those out over the next month or so. And then we're going to get into the crazy leaf cleanup jobs, which I really enjoy. That's my favorite time of the season for sure. But even when that's done, there's always something that needs done. I'm always doing some, you know, kind of wild and crazy cleanup on a property. And just getting something in shape that's been neglected for years. You know, people buy houses, and when they buy them, they may have been, you know, foreclosed on or sat for 3 or 4 years, or, you know, maybe neglected for 5 to 10 years while somebody was in poor health. It just, things get out of hand really fast. And then somebody else will come in and it's their responsibility. So, you know, it's one of those things that we have to... That's what a lawn guy does. You know, lawn and landscapers, we're on the maintenance side of landscaping. We're on the installation side so much, but the maintenance side. And we're coming in and maintaining stuff. And it's very important in society. People don't realize it, I don't think. And, you know, I know that we play an important role. And, you know, I know there's jokes made about it and stuff like that when it comes to, like, I saw a recent video about backpack blowers and why you know, people are annoyed by the noise from this industry and stuff like that. But really, I mean, the reality of it is the only way we're able to get the amount of work that we get done in a day is through our equipment, and strong equipment and reliable equipment. And the fact is, it's a respectable career in my opinion. I used to look down upon myself, you know, because I felt that other people were looking down on me. I felt like I fell into this industry and it wasn't respectable, because in my eyes, when I thought about it when I was younger, it was always, you know, kids went out and they mowed lawns for money, and something that I did when I was a kid. And then other than that, it was, you know, alcoholics or druggies or somebody that was looking for some change and stuff like that. And so to an outward appearance of our industry, it's got a bad image. But over the years, I've noticed over the past several years since I've been in business, that the image overall of our business of our industry is just, it's risen. So if you're in the lawn care industry or you're getting into it, don't have insecurities about it. It is a respectable career. There are plenty of people out there that are, they're incapable of doing it, whether it's a time constraint or a physical constraint. or people, I don't want to say anybody's lazy, but there's people that have more important things for their life to do than lawn care. You know, they've got priorities that are either more important than lawn care, or they have, like I said, time constraints. You know, maybe they have a career that keeps them from it. Maybe when they get home from the career that's kept them from the lawn, they want to spend time with their family. And so by doing what we do, because we can come in and we can knock down a tall, crazy yard, get it back in shape, or we can come in and take care of somebody's lawn every week, and we actually give them back their weekend. So what would take somebody a whole weekend to mow, edge, weed eat, blow off, get it looking good, take care of the bushes, all that stuff, we can come in and do that in just a fraction of the time for a small amount of money. If your client is hiring you, then more than likely they find value in you and they want to pay you and they feel good about paying you. So, you know, don't have an insecurity with it. If you're insecure about your prices, one of the ways to get that insecurity to go away is by doing a little bit of math, calculating how much the equipment costs, calculating the expenses in the business, calculating your overhead recovery. So the things that, you know, you have to pay for that are not on site. So when I'm at this job, we have the weed eater, he would have the Cub Cadet, you know, I would have labor and stuff like that. If it was a typical job, you have expenses that are accrued from that job being there at that place. You would not have those expenses otherwise. Then you have expenses in your business that you're going to have regardless of whether you're on a job site or not. You know, equipment payments. You're going to have insurance that you have to pay for. You're going to have your cost of your shop and just things of that nature. You're going to have stuff that is constantly there. Now, by calculating all those up and then dividing it into how many hours you work a day, how many hours you're planning on working a year, that kind of thing, you can come up with your overhead recovery, and you can know how much you need to charge per man hour at a bare minimum to break even, and then how much you need to charge to be profitable. Once you have those numbers, you won't be insecure about your pricing. Now, if you want to know an easy way to come up with all that information, if you use QuickBooks to track your information, your expenses, and everything that goes into your business, it'll all be there, and it'll actually help you figure that up on its own. So it'll have different reports that you can run, your profit loss and all that stuff. So having said that, I'm never 100% on top of that stuff. My wife takes care of that for me. I hate looking at QuickBooks, but I know what it takes per man hour on the typical job. So each job could vary. If you're doing landscape or if you're doing lawn care or something like that, it may vary. But, you know, for our regular maintenance, I know what we need to hit to make money. Now, having said all that, having knowledge of where your numbers need to be and all that stuff will only cure so much of your business. But let me go ahead and throw this out, okay? Lazy hands make for poverty, but diligent hands bring wealth. Okay? Lazy hands make for poverty, but diligent hands bring wealth. That is Proverbs 10:4. Okay? So, just throwing it out, you gotta work. You gotta be willing to go out there. So you can make money one day of the week, but if you're wanting to have this full time and be your solo thing, you're not gonna make movement if you're being lazy. If you have a hobby or something, it doesn't have to be just work. Whatever you put time into is what you're going to progress in life. So if you put time into being on the couch and watching movies, well, you're going to progress at being a movie buff and knowing some movies and having some knowledge on that. But if you're wanting to grow a business, or you're wanting to be a good father, or you're wanting to be a good mother, or you're wanting to have a hobby or learn how to play guitar or whatever it might be, whatever you want to do in life, you have to know that you have whatever you put time into is what you're going to get good at. Okay? So you can't be lazy. Otherwise, you're not going to have any results. I like watching TikTok videos. My wife likes watching TikTok videos. I have to tell her all the time, if you want to get something done today, you got to stop watching TikTok. We keep each other in line all the time. So, Jesse, you have never used a zero turn, right?
That is correct.
All right, so
I've only had small, tiny residential. I own 2 push mowers, and that's it.
All right, so Jesse's first experience cutting lawn with the zero turn is going to be on a, well, it's not tall back here anymore because he hit it with his Cub Cadet, but it's tall in the front. We're going to cut the front first, and from there, you know, you're going to get to see him and his first experience on driving a zero turn. So I'm going to walk him through it real quick, and I'll walk you through it as well. Go ahead and jump on it.
This is a big machine.
All right, so first things first, this is your parking brake, okay? When it's down, it's off. When it's up, it's on. This right here is for the deck height. When you first cut it on the highest setting, and then press your foot here, pull this latch over, and you're going to drop down to 4 inches. Okay, you want to try it out real quick? Press that forward, and then turn it to the left, to the right, to whatever side that is. All right, now you see this? Now let off your foot. Yeah, there you go. And if you want to put it back up, like if you got a hole coming, you just, yep, you can just do it with your foot, and that's spring loaded, and it'll come over.
So is this the setting for the actual deck height?
Yep, that's how you set the deck height. So on turning on the machine, basically give it a little choke. You got to have your parking brake up, and these have to be out. Okay. Then from there, before you can drive, you're going to drop the parking brake, and you're able to drive forward. The PTO switch is kind of giving me a hard time. So if the blades don't kick on right away, drop the throttle down just a little bit, kick on the blades, they'll kick on, and then you can throttle it back up. So on a zero turn, you've never drove one, so
Left, backwards, right, forwards, and then backwards at the same time, and it'll turn this way.
yeah, so
And then the
if you
opposite for the right.
push them forward steady together, don't go too fast, otherwise you'll pop it up. And then yeah, if you want to turn right, you just turn the grips, and the right side goes out.
Yeah.
So it's real simple, real easy. Think you got it?
The only thing I am a little bit confused about right now is the deck height. So to set this to 4, do you put this pin somewhere else?
Nope, it's already there. You're ready to go, so you don't even have to adjust anything. Just all you have to do is kick this out. So go ahead and press your foot on there, move the lever over, and drop it down. Your deck's adjusted. You're ready to go. Make sense?
Yeah, this thing is massive.
You ready? Yeah, and like push that again. All right, now drop it. Just use your foot.
Oh, I see. It's got a
Cool.
spring.
Yep.
That's nice.
All right, so go ahead and fire it up. Your parking brake's got to come up.
I see.
Now turn it. This is your blade. You want to try driving it first? All right, so Jesse was just talking about the discharge, and I think what you're trying to ask me is what's better, discharging it on the concrete, or, you know, do you discharge it on the sidewalk, or you discharge it on the street, not leaving it there, but so that you can take care of the lawn, because you still got to edge and weed eat, right?
Yeah, so my question really is what is the better way of doing it? If you guys can leave a comment down below, I'm sure I'll be in there reading them. But do you guys blow it into the street because it gets it away from your workplace, even though you have to blow it later? Or do you discharge into the yard and double mulch things?
Okay, so go ahead and leave your comment and let us know what you do, but I'm gonna go ahead and tell you what I do. To me, what I always do, even if it's tall, is I will come in and I will discharge everything towards the lawn. So I'm gonna do the first pass coming around. I'm gonna discharge off the boulevard onto the sidewalk and then into the yard. Then I'm gonna go ahead and take another pass, if it's tall and nasty like this, and I'm gonna shoot from the sidewalk onto the yard, get as much as I can there, and then I'm gonna shoot again into the yard. So it's all gonna end up in the yard, and then so basically I'm essentially gonna have 1, 2, 3 passes in, and then the next pass I'll come shoot it towards the sidewalk. And ideally, the person that's edging and weed eating will want to get done with the edges before you shoot a ton of grass on there. But even if it's weekly, like if you have a real thick Bermuda lawn, sometimes you end up with a lot of grass on the edge. So if you're edging with a string trimmer, it's kind of a pain because you can't really see where your edge is. But once you get proficient with it, you can do it still and not have too much of an issue. But definitely with the metal blade, there's almost no issue. Do you guys use a string trimmer or metal blade?
We alternate between the metal and the string. Once we've established a line, we'll go ahead and go in with the string trimmer. Just because at that point you're just cleaning out the gap between the concrete and the dirt.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good. So when I started my business, I went for 4 or 5 years before we got a metal blade edger. So, you know, even on something like this, and I'll have to show you when we're cleaned up, but even on something like this, so this is kind of wide right here, but it's still a relatively good edge. And so what I would do on something like this, a property like this, is take two or 3 weeks to get caught up, and then after that I would be at a nice groove.
Yeah.
And but yeah, where it's a real issue is when you run into like clumps of crabgrass that are growing over and you got like a real big knot.
So here's a question for you guys. Whenever you have a lawn that's overgrown, like say this one was, what do you do when there's been no established edge for, you know, a couple of years and the grass is way out here and you're trying to cut back at the grass?
Okay, so when it's like 6 inches over or more?
Yeah, and you're cutting dirt and root and basically everything that the earth has like grown in that past couple of years before an edge was established.
Okay, so I actually have a really cool video that at this point, thought that was a bug, at this point isn't out, but it's going to be, so I'm going to go ahead and leave that in the description on this video. Basically, when the concrete is covered up by the grass and the dirt and everything from years, I go in and it'll be the same thing in the driveway. A lot of stuff caught up in the cracks in the driveway as well. The first thing that we do is we use our blower and we push as much debris out of there as we possibly can. And the reason being is that's less that I have to mess with the string trimmer, and it's less string that I'm going to use up, but it also shows me what I'm actually working with. So from there, you're going to knock a bunch of dirt out, and then that's going to take you back a little ways. Then I come in and I'll start using a string trimmer and I'll knock it back as far as I can. Once you kind of get close to the groove, you can start using a metal blade. But it really all depends. Like if it's more like if it's crabgrass and stuff, I always use a string trimmer for that. But if it's, say, like Bermuda, sometimes you can run the metal blade through it and it'll cut it off like chunks of sod. So you know, it really depends on the scenario.
That's what I have, my own personal property. That's what I have.
Yeah.
And basically I took a metal string or metal edge blade and I ran it down. It took me a while to establish it, but I ran it down and I took like a spade shovel,
a flat shovel,
I ran it underneath and I peeled it back like sod.
Yeah, sometimes that's what you got to do. And what's crazy is it'll be like you know, you'll have what looks like clean concrete at that point, not in this scenario, but then it'll look real dirty because there's been dirt on there and it's wet and moist, and then after a while it dries out. But yeah, this one we are going to get all of this off the neighbors and onto this one.
I would say that's on me. Rookie zero turn and just trying to not step on anyone's toes while they're working.
Nah, you're all right, man. Like, I noticed you slowed down in consideration to not blast it on me, which is cool, but I don't care. Well, I guess that's probably the best thing to do safety wise.
Oh yeah, because you never know what's in grass like this. I mean, I could have been slinging rocks at you.
I'll take it.
This has a ton of crabgrass.
Yeah, it's thick and nasty too. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and blow this stuff over. The sticks we'll throw in the back of my box. We're not gonna collect the grass on it, and then yeah, I mean, it's gonna be messy, dude. It's owned by the bank, and the bank said we're not gonna pay you to haul the grass off. So I said, okay, I'm not gonna haul it off. They didn't tell me, but I know if I asked them, they would say no, we're not gonna pay you to do anything. We're gonna wait until the city says something. You agree?
I agree, yeah. 100%. I've ran into it a bunch of times since I started this. Like, people think that, you know, I should be included, but sometimes, you know, it's got to be worth the while, you know. That's my opinion on it.
So yeah, so if I was going to, like, if we were doing this for a client, what I would do is I would try to discharge it all in a pile.
Mulch it up.
And well, in this case, because you're cutting off so much, you can't really mulch it up. So I would take all of this and shoot it into a pile like it is, or shoot it on the driveway. If you can get stuff on concrete, it's easier to move.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So
less friction from the grass.
Yeah, so if you shot all this, even if you shot it right here in the street, people hate shooting in the street because of the debate with motorcycles and stuff. Do you ride?
Absolutely.
Have you ever had an issue with grass in the...
No.
No.
I've been riding since I was about 5 years old. Started on like a PW50, and I'm up to a street bike. Had it for 5 years.
Do you think it would be an issue in any other scenario than being on a curve? No.
Because, I mean, well, everything's situational. So
Yeah.
in my opinion, if you got a car here or someone's pulling out of their driveway real fast and you had to slam on your brakes, maybe it's an issue then.
You're probably going to be, because you're a good motorist, you're probably going to be invasive and drive. Is that the right word for that?
I would say
An invasive driver.
I would say
it's wrong.
evasive.
Evasive, yes. You're going to use your common sense and your intelligence and your motor skills, and you're going to cruise your motorcycle around it. So unless you're flying like a jackwagon down the street, it's not going to be an issue unless it was on a curve or something. Like if it was high speed on a curve, like if you're on a main street, just don't do it at all. But in this kind of case, like when it comes to leaf season, I almost always drop leaves in the street so that I can use the blower and pile them up. Which, yeah. At this point, I'm rambling though.
Well, in a neighborhood as well, you're only supposed to go 25. So your reaction time at 25 should be good enough to say, if you're riding like you're supposed to, look ahead.
Yeah.
You know, size up the scene, and then if you see someone coming, if you're going 25, you should be able to stop pretty fairly well without slamming on your brakes. But if you do have to stop, use both brakes. Don't just use your front brake.
Yeah. I agree with that. I don't see it being an issue. So, is it professional? Absolutely not. But if it's during the service, it's okay. It happens. Let's go ahead and I don't know, what do you think? If we don't clean up the grass, people are going to be like, Kevin, that looks like crap. You want to clean up the grass? It doesn't take much longer. Let's go ahead and clean up the grass. We're going to do it. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and show you an example of how I would put stuff on the street, blow it into a pile because it's easier to move on the concrete, and then we're going to tarp it and rake it and tarp it. We're going to use the rake to put it on the tarp, and then I'm going to throw it in my setup and I'm going to take it to the dump. Because I like to go overkill, I don't get it. I can't do it. I was wanting to do it. I was gonna leave the grass, but I couldn't do it. So yeah. All right. So that's about how we would move leaves into a circle, get it into a relatively close area, and then start working around it like that.
So you prefer like the plastic tine rake over the metal tine?
Yeah. Yeah, and I normally buy, you can get more expensive ones. I normally just buy cheap ones. Yeah, pull it on up. Just because I'm going to go through them, you know.
Yeah.
And they don't.
This one is Lowe's, I think.
All right, grab that corner. Right there. Boy, you signed off for a job. This is a cool one. I probably got 3 or 4 videos out of this.
I signed on for an experience. I got that.
Dude, you should come do a leaf cleanup with me when it's time.
Yeah, man. Let me know. I'm down.
It's fun, man. I'll show you a bunch of tips and tricks with that blower.
I noticed you wand it quite a bit, like back and forth.
Yep. Yeah. Different motions will help break it up and move it.
I usually do that with mine, but the wand is like really big on that one.
It's a workout on your arm at first.
I was trying to figure out how to like, master the throttle on that thing as well.
It's got a ridiculous amount of power, huh?
Yeah, I mean it's definitely a difference compared to mine.
Was yours bogging down? That one will bog down sometimes, man.
It wasn't really bogging. I think the spring on the trigger mechanism is worn out a little bit,
Yeah.
and it affects like the throttle.
You gotta fire up that other one.
What's up?
You gotta fire up that newer one.
I'm sure it's a little bit of a different experience with the trigger.
Yeah. That's impressive. What do you think? Did it make you want to buy one?
I saw one before I came out. I mean, I've seen them.
Yeah.
I watch a lot of YouTube, so I'm kind of one of those guys that's like, I kind of see it and I want to buy one. And it's like, well, you should.
Let me see that side.
You go to the green dump a lot?
Yeah. Yeah. Not normally for this kind of stuff, but around leaf season.
Oh, I'm sure.
And when we're doing cleanups and bush trimmings.
You get smoked.
I haven't done until YouTube, until I started doing them for the videos. I haven't done stuff like this in about 2 years.
Oh, like the tall grass stuff?
Yeah. And I gotta say, if you want to make money in your business, try to stay away from them.
I can imagine. People who let their grass get that tall usually don't have a lot of money to get their grass cut in the first place.
YouTube loves it though.
Yeah.
All right, so let's take a look at the final product. Jesse, what do you think?
I think it looks good.
It wasn't too bad. Yeah, so we finished this up quite a while ago, and we've actually been just talking about business. I like talking about business. He wanted to hear about it. He had some questions. I asked him questions. We've been talking for like 2 hours. 2 hours. So here's what the lawn looks like. Final look. Ferris is still looking good on there, right? And then let's go take a look at the back. Dude, come on. That Cub Cadet was insane. It shredded that up like it was nothing. And then he got to use a 0 turn for his first time, cut it up. We've got clumps, but it was 4 foot high. So it's all good. Like I said, I hope you guys have a good one. I'm out.